What's going on, guys? It is the SMT, and I am live with you guys. Kind of a random stream. This is the first of the midweek podcast live stream. I did a poll back, I don't know, I want to say about 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to see if you guys wanted kind of like a midweek live stream podcast where we can kind of discuss the news of the week partially through the week. And you guys were pretty receptive about it. You said you wanted a second stream, and I just kind of pulled it to see what day you wanted to do it. So here we are, the first of the midweek streams. Looks like we've got some of you already piling in. As you guys come into the live stream, by all means, do say hello and go ahead and hit that like button. We are using a new service for live streaming tonight. I'm using StreamYard. You guys can, right here, you guys can see the watermark there, powered by StreamYard. So, as you know, Google actually, I don't know what they're doing with Hangouts, but it looks like it's going away of the dodo. And you can't use Hangouts on air for YouTube live streaming anymore, which I used to love. Inviting guests was easy and simple. And then it got real complicated and dang near impossible on YouTube. So the easiest thing for me was to find a different service that could get the job done that was integrated into YouTube, and this is what I got. So we'll be using StreamYard moving forward. All right, so Frankie is in the house. Unscheduled, but actually scheduled, because I've been wanting to do this, and I felt like Tuesday kind of puts us smack dab in the middle of the week since we do the live stream on Friday. So this kind of breaks up the week quite nicely. Rafi's in the house. He'll be moderating. Thank you for being here, brother. Ronald is in the house. Jessica, good to have you. Eric is here. Unlock Custom Droid, my brother. What's happening, buddy? Haven't seen you all week, man. Caught your most recent video. The one on the Essential phone. That was pretty good. Good stuff, man. It's a shame. That's a really, really good phone. Had tons and tons of potential at launch. Just, it had its little quirks, and the camera wasn't good. And I actually bought one. I gave it to my mom. She didn't really like it. I don't know, but I loved the design. I thought it was great. When it got the price drop, the discount, it was a great deal. I mean, now they're probably dirt cheap, especially if you buy it used in good shape. But good phone, honestly, overall. Sheena's here. Ricky Florida Keys is here. BG Grizzly is here. The Yellow Dragon. Rafi, thanks for the update on that. Imprez Z is here. Ooh, Sheena's getting her Note 10 Plus. Did you get the 5G, Sheena, or did you just get the regular one? Jamal's in the house. Good to have you, brother. Alan Dubb. Ray's Mobile Carrier News. Big shout out to him. What's happening, buddy? Good to have you on. Oh, crap. Imprez is getting his Note Plus also. Woo. You guys getting that nice phone, man. You guys do any trade-in deals? Any discounts? Anything like a buy one, get one of sorts? Heath, what's happening? Good to have you on. Ricky Florida Keys is in the house. Good to have you here. Nathan Bernice is here. What's up, buddy? Good to have you on, hanging out. Sheena, thanks. I appreciate that. Kind words. Steve Espinosa is in the house. Rafi, thanks for taking care of the mod duties tonight. Gary Davis in the house. Brian, what's with the emojis, man? What's up, Gregory? Glad you could be here. Paul is in the house. Wow, everybody's getting their Note 10s and Note 10 Pluses. Wow, they're coming out quick. Mark Garcia is here. Not the 5G. I don't blame you for not getting the 5G one, Imprez. It's extra money that you probably don't need to spend because you're probably not in the 5G market. So I don't blame you. Ray's Mobile Carrier News says, not sure if I want a Note 10. Can't blame you. The Note 10 is a very pricey phone. If you have the expendable income, it's a good phone. I mean, buying phones like the Notes and the S10s and these really high-end flagships, when you get one, there's no need to upgrade, anytime soon when you get them. Unlock Custom Droid said, I'm getting the OnePlus 7T Pro. I need that. I've got a OnePlus 6T. It's a boss phone, man. And that phone's what, a year old now? So, I mean, I bet you that S10 Pro is going to be nice. I'm thinking about maybe looking into it if they do a 5G variant, just for the sake of the channel. Something tells me it'll probably be the first 5G phone, maybe less than $1,000. Maybe it'll be at that sweet spot, $999. Like, isn't it crazy? A phone coming in at $999 is a deal. Crazy. Prezi says he's trading in his Note 9, and I like the Note 9, man. I might actually buy a Note 9. I know it's a year old, but I might do it. Troy, good to have you on. See, guys, this is how you do it right here. When you come in, this is how you do it. For Matt Dub. Hello, everyone. Big shout out to Rafi in the live chat. If you guys are looking for a discount code to try the Visible service, $20 discount using that code. In the description of the video, Rafi can leave you guys there. Alan did the the two iPhone 7s from Metro, just sold them on eBay, making $100 profit. Oh, man. I'm telling you, Ray. Ray's Mobile Carrier News. No 9 was a good phone. Paul says there's a $150 credit to purchase anything on the Samsung site. So if you were buying the 5G, that brings it down to $1,150. If you are buying the Note 10, it brings you down to $800. It's easier to swallow that pill. Ronald brings up a good point. 5G chips, not a good year for them this year. The real problem, Ronald, is the fact that no phone has all 5G frequency types. So you're either getting millimeter wave, or you're getting mid-band, or you're getting low band. There's not a single phone out there that's doing all three. That's really the problem. Hey, super chat. Thanks, Yellow Dragon. BG Grizzly 30. Thanks, brother. Unlock Custom Droid says, I love my OnePlus 6T. Man, I like it, man. And actually, every time somebody sees it, they want to know what it is. They don't really know, especially the iPhone users in my crew. So, everybody's got an iPhone in my inner circle for the most part. I've got a couple of Note users, but they see the OnePlus 6T and they see that teardrop notch and they're like, wow, that's so much nicer than the iPhone notch. What is that? And then they try it, and I take them, to look at the viewing experience and how the video looks on the ratio, and they're impressed, and they're like, man, what'd you pay for this phone? And then I tell them how much I paid, and they're like, holy crap, that's like a third of what I paid for my iPhone XS Max. So, yeah, man. By the way, I'd like to ask you guys how the video and the audio is, since I am using a different broadcast service. We are using StreamYard now, so let me know how the audio and the video is. I hear that StreamYard does a better job with the video compression and the streaming. So just checking in. Let me know what you guys think of it. Mad Dub says, I was tempted to get the Note 10 Plus, but I'm riding with the Note 9. I don't know. Maybe wait till next year. 5G will be more ubiquitous. We'll see more markets with it. Maybe you can upgrade to some 5G. And it'll kind of work. Unlock custom Droid 850 for that device, huh? Wait, the OnePlus 7T is 850? Or the 7T Pro or whatever it's going to be called. He's going to wait. He's going to wait to get a 5G phone until next summer. I mean, pricing will probably come down a bit. Choices will go up a bit. Ray's Mobile Carrier News. Honestly, I'm hearing that the display is good, but it's a little bit overrated with the fresh refresh rate and all that. Jamil with the super chat. Thank you, brother. Good to have you on. He's also moderating tonight. He's got a wrench. Watch yourselves out there. Jamil and Rafi in full effect. Got the super chat. Thank you, Rafi. How do you guys like that little banner that shows up at the bottom? I thought that was pretty cool. Paul, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, when you return it, what are you on a lease? I'm guessing something like that. You know what, Imprezi, you would think this is the way it works, where you could, wait for somebody to sell a device on eBay. But right now, the cheapest I'm finding any S10 5Gs, any LG V50 ThinQ 5Gs, they're still all $700. Yeah, Pete, what do you think, man? What do you think of this this little StreamYard thing? I kind of like the little features and whatnot. Digging it. Frankie says I may likely skip the Note 10, get the S10 plus 5G. My humble opinion, it has more to offer minus the S Pen. By the way, you seem fatigued. Actually, you know what, Frankie? I fell asleep right after work, man. I'm exhausted. I'm back at work, and the grind of the school day is like, I mean, to be a good teacher actually takes some demand. And I don't know, it wears me out, man. I always want to do best for my students. And it's just grading all the papers, writing down, giving the students feedback and, extra help, on the side with students before and after school. It could be draining. Hey, Pete, got to step the game up, man. It's all part of the evolution of the YouTube channel. Pete, we've had conversations about this in the past. I want to offer the best, performance, capabilities, features, enjoyment for my subscribers and viewers. So trying. Ronald, that's a legit statement. You could say that for sure. All right, good. Jessica, Mark, Paul, saying I got good audio, good video. Matt Dub, thank you. All right, awesome. Ray's Mobile Carrier News. Man, Angus, I haven't seen you on a while, buddy. Long time no see. Good to have you on. Yeah, Angus, I've got the Google Pixel 3a XL, and I love it, man. I do a lot of my production here on the channel using that device. The best I could get on this service, Ricky, is 720p. Maybe it's my camera. I don't know. Maybe I'll try something different next week or Friday. Pete, you had to throw that in there, man. Sheesh. Good. BG Grizzly says the audio is good. To be on like the cutting edge, right? To be on the bleeding edge of technology is so expensive. To pay the cost up front, it's such a pain. Like, you'll be financing a new phone every year. I mean, you may not even pay off half of your device before you're moving on to the next one. So I can't blame people for saying, let's wait till next year. In 5G phones, you got more choices and stuff like that, and the cost goes down and all that. Oh, Unlock Custom Droid saying that the OnePlus 7T Pro will come in at $849. So last I checked, I think the OnePlus 7, yeah, it was like 7 something, wasn't it? $669 for the entry level. I think the one that was up was like 100 more or 50 more, something like that. I like the OnePlus 7 offerings. I like what it offers consumers in terms of value, but I'd only be interested if they made a 5G model, because at this point, a OnePlus 6T, a OnePlus 7 Pro, whatever, a 7T Pro sounds intriguing. I'd be considering the 5G one because of the channel. Ooh, Randy's got a good question. When do you expect Metro to get 5G phones? See, that's hard to call, Randy. Metro is a prepaid brand. It's a brand that is designed to offer value in the form of discounted plans and discounted phones. A 5G phone right now is $1,000 or more. 1,300 is more realistic. That's what most people are paying new. At that price, Metro's not going to be selling anything in their stores. They've got to be able to come in at a price point that people can handle. I mean, even $500-$600 for a phone from Metro is going to be a tough sell because that segment of consumers isn't necessarily looking to spend that much. I mean, you guys could tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's some Metro customers out there, but I just don't see anybody on Metro, looking for $1,000 or more on a 5G phone. It's just not going to happen. It's going to have to come down. Well, Ronald, you get that shout out, man. Are you loving the banner? There you are, buddy. All right. Jessica's digging the banner. Cool. Nice little picture avatar thing there, by the way, Jessica. Very nice. Paul says it's just something I mug. Yeah, Pete, we can definitely do the collab now. All I have to do is I send you the invite. I can do it through Gmail. It'll send you the invite and boom, it just integrates it and I can add you on a split screen or whatever else you could do. Big shout out to Rafi. Loving the new features. Good to hear. Glad you guys love it. Jessica's saying that Nevada schools might strike. Oh, God. Jar Cohen, I've been teaching for 10 years. I think 11 or 12 years if I count like my training, my student teaching and practicum and all that. Hey, Ricky, I love teaching, man. It's the best job I could ask for. I mean, I still enjoy it. I'm not tired of it. Kids keep me young. I got to stay hip with the times. They're good kids. You know what I mean? I enjoy it. It's a very noble profession. I find it very rewarding. I mean, monetarily, I could be doing anything to make the money I'm making, but the healthcare is good. Summers are nice to have off, and the actual work itself is very enjoyable. Nothing's perfect. Ooh, super chat from the Imprez S. Thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Chart Cohen with the super chat. Thank you both so much for the kind donations. Jess, that's a good phone. I don't know. I need a good deal on a 5G phone. I'm looking to buy something lightly used, something in good shape that is going to be compatible with multiple carriers. Now, if I get one now, it's going to be a millimeter wave phone, which means the only thing I could test around my area is going to be T-Mobile's millimeter wave. Verizon doesn't have 5G out here, although they will by the end of the year. Sprint doesn't have 5G out here. So if I get an S10 5G or I get a Note 10 Plus 5G or I get an LG V50 ThinQ 5G, it'll work millimeter wave on Verizon and T-Mobile, which would be cool because I could do the speed testing. I can make videos here on the channel, show you what things are going on in the Cleveland area. Ray's saying he wants to wait for the 11. Find the hole punch on the screen like the No series. I don't know. I don't know if it's that big of a deal to me. I mean, the notch is more intrusive if you ask me. The little cutout hole punch doesn't seem so bad. Super chat from Ronald. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Wow, you guys are very generous tonight. Thank you guys so much. It's funny, Brian. You need a green screen so it doesn't look like you're hidden in the corner. Yeah, I guess I could get a green screen. It shouldn't be too much to get that. Stace, what's going on, brother? Glad you could be here. Glad you're enjoying the videos. You are most welcome. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Very kind of you. Very generous. Oscar's in the house. Good to have you on. If you're just joining us here in the live stream, by all means, please like the video and pop in and say hello. We'll greet you. You know what, Ricky? That's a good point, man. bad purchase decisions, bad credit, situations that people come across in their life, hard times, things like that. Um, these things happen, and then you're kind of forced into a situation where you're kind of, just working in the best case scenario of what you got. And sometimes that's the case. I do think Metro is good for a prepaid carrier, though. The T-Mobile network is competitive, and pricing is good. And I think they offer some value in what they're doing right now. 2 lines for 80. You get Amazon Prime, Google One Drive and all that good stuff. It's not bad value. Jar Cohen says, what grades do I teach? I teach 9 to 12. I've got 9th and 10th graders for biology, and then I've got 11th and 12th graders for environmental science. Nathan, how you going to say I'm the best teacher, man? Come on, man. It's premature. You don't know. I might drive you crazy over the next 4 or 5 months. uh Pete's going to be TAing this semester. That's cool. That's a good experience. Do you know what you're going to be doing in terms of the TA? Like how many sections or what you'll be doing exactly? Gary says you'll never get paid enough in that line of work. I know, Gary, but I wouldn't have chosen the profession if I wasn't prepared. So like you said, I kind of know what I got myself into, but I couldn't see myself doing anything else, honestly. Like it was just something I wanted to do. My grandfather is like my original mentor, and he was a school teacher, and I always respected him very much for that. And it was just something I wanted to do, and I just couldn't see myself doing anything else for 30 years. Frankie, I'm going to be considering that device pretty legitimately. Like I said, it depends on the price point. If it's under 1,000, it's a serious option for me. If it's over 1,000, it's just another 5G phone to me. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Christopher Green's in the house. Good to have you on, buddy. Gary, I'm not gonna go to Chicago to test the network. I mean, that's like a 6-hour drive for me. If I'm ever in Chicago and I got a 5G phone, great. Maybe I'll do some speed testing, but you know. Brian, I used to think this way. I used to think like, oh, I don't need a front facing camera. But if you don't have a front facing camera on your main driver, you probably want a second phone. Because there's gonna come a point where you're gonna want a front facing camera. Wait, Jessica, how do you know that I make learning fun? Lisa's in the house. Good to have you on. Thanks for stopping by. Cybersecurity 3? That is a cool class. I guess I would have to take Cybersecurity 1 before I get into 3, right? Cameron, how's that AT&T LTE, man? I hear that Band 14 is really kicking in nationwide. I believe they've got over 60% of the nation covered in it, and speeds have been awesome. Seabass in the house. Good to have you on, buddy. I mean, Seabass, think about it. Like, how do you do like a video call without it? Pretty much. Troy Hicks with the super chat. Thank you so much for the kind donation. Very generous of you. Thank you again. Hope by next year the S11 will have multiband 5G. Man, I wonder, would the S11 5G be multiband? If it's going to be multiband, one of them has to be millimeter wave. The other piece is it going to be low band and millimeter wave, or is it going to be mid band and millimeter wave? Best case scenario, it's millimeter wave, mid band, and low band. That's the way to do it. I don't know if they're able to do it right now due to space constraints, the antenna modules, right? Taking up all that space and battery life and heat dissipation and processor taxing. Maybe they've got some kinks to work out. What do I think about AT&T TV. Oscar, it's not designed to be like Sling. It's a legit cable TV that's just streamed. So it's not like Sling, which is a la carte, a light TV streaming service. This is a legit cable TV, so it's got a lot more. But I think it's too expensive. I don't think there's much value in it, honestly. You know what? Ray's mobile carrier news. I think. Click the wrong one. Where'd I go? Ray's said something here. All right, here we go. We need some low end and mid range 5G devices sooner or later, and I think they're coming. Are they going to be just one band? Are they going to be low band, or are they going to be mid band, or will they be both? I'd like to see both, because the higher frequency bands, get us more speed and throughput. So I think it's important to kind of approach it with both. Jarrett, I did see the story. So the state attorneys general, I believe it's from Louisiana, and I believe there's a handful of states already on board: Kansas, Ohio, Kentucky, or something. Like there's like 6 states. It's nice to see that that's happening. What does it matter at this point? The FCC and the DOJ have collectively supported, legalized documentation, approved the merger. What else is there to do at this point? If you speak to any market analyst, if you speak to anybody who has seen or overseen mergers in the past, they're saying that this merger is good to go. That's it. It's nice to see the support. It's not required. Utility commissions have all signed off on it already. The only state that hasn't is California, and I think it's just a formality at this point. Christopher Green says, "What is the best service I have in terms of wireless?" I'm using Verizon right now. I have a handful of Verizon postpaid lines, and then I have Visible, which is Verizon's prepaid MVNO kind of thing. You know what, Angus? Mine's unlocked. I bought mine through Best Buy, unlocked. I got that $100 gift card with it, so good deal. Yeah, Ray's mobile carrier news. You're onto something there, for sure. All right, so here's something interesting. Samsung is supposed to release the Galaxy A90 later this year. It'll be their first mid-range 5G phone. Now, the thing about that phone, is there an Exynos chip that is 5G ready? Or is the A90 going to be using a Snapdragon, Qualcomm-made chip? If so, what is it going to be? If it's going to be a mid-range, that'll be the first of its kind. We'll have to wait and see, but that's interesting. And of course, the entry level on the price point matters there. Is it going to come in at $500? It's going to come in at $600. Every 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 increment matters, especially when you're talking about mid-range, and entry-level devices. For those of you looking to try Visible service, maybe you're looking for a new provider, maybe you're not happy with your service, or you're just looking for a good deal, or just to try to see what you're missing out on. I've got one of my moderators, Rafi. He's in the chat. He's got the link here. You could save $20 on Visible service. Use that code. That's my own code, my referral code. It'll save you $20 on that first month. Try it. If you're not happy with your carrier or your prepaid service, it's $20 when you use that code. And by the way, guys, Visible's not paying me. It's just a referral code that if you want to save money, on trying the service, you can. I would say that every day or every couple days, people are using my referral code, which I'm very happy to see. So good. It's good to use if you want to try that out. You know what, Alan W? I don't know much about the Netgear routers. I know the Nighthawks are supposed to be really, really good. I'm not too familiar with all the models though. Ronald, isn't that crazy that $700 is now a mid-ranger? That's just nuts, man. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Technical issues? Oh, the 5G phones. Um, Maybe by the end of next year, the end of 2020, maybe the beginning of 2021. Exynos 9825. I'll be on the lookout for that. JP, what's going on, bro? Glad you could be here. So Brian brings up the point about T-Mobile's 5G being low band. I mean, it's going to be fast enough. I mean, who doesn't want like a guaranteed 100 megabits per second? I'll take it. I mean, right now I get 100 megabits sometimes, and I'm always getting deprioritized. And I'm always being network managed and all that. 5G kind of puts an end to all that. And with the merger, with the capacity improvements, we shouldn't have any issues a couple years from now. This is funny. Ronald says, thank Apple for how expensive phones are today. So that's part of it. But honestly, Ronald, thank the consumer. People willing to pay $700, $800, $900, $1,000, $1,100, $1,300. If people weren't willing to pay it, they wouldn't. But Alan W brings up a point. These luxuries, when people have the expendable income, if they have it, they'll pay it. Oscar says, which phone Metro doing 5G on? I don't know. We're hearing it might be a Samsung device, which would make sense. Samsung was basically the first mainstream 5G phone in the US with the S10 Plus 5G. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. My message doesn't appear? What do you mean? I have to select the message. Not all messages show, Seabass. He says, I finally got a good speed test on Metro. 56 down, 24 up. That is pretty good. Ricky Florida Keys says, what makes it possible to buy expensive phones is the payment plans. So thanks to the people who are able and willing to buy pricey phones, push prices up. And you know what? I get payment plans. It makes total sense, right? You take $1,000 phone, which most people don't have 1,000 on hand. Everybody has bills. Everybody's got rent. Everybody has mortgages. People have families. They have to feed children. You have to clothe them. You have to provide things that they need. Makes total sense. You can't just throw $1,000 at a phone. But when you finance it, especially when they offer you free financing, right? They're not charging you a fee. They're basically saying, yeah, we'll help you finance this device and you will utilize our service on basically an agreement, right? It's like a contract over the course of the next 2 years or 3 years in some cases. Which those 3-year deals are nuts. AT&T's been doing 30-month installments for a couple years now, and now T-Mobile's doing 3 years. And of course, it's because the phones are expensive. It's not that they're trying to keep you on for longer just because. I mean, they're cool with that, but it's simply, the fact that they're just expensive. They're over $1,000. Angus says, what do you think about Spectra Mobile compared to Visible? I like Visible better. I mean, Spectrum's not giving you the same features that Visible is. I don't think Spectrum gives you unlimited mobile hotspot. Um, they're both prioritized the same way and deprioritized the same way. I mean, unless you're getting some awesome deal that's cheaper than $40 a line, I would go Visible. I don't know. Alan W says $1,000 a lot. Sure is. I don't see how that's. I mean, maybe to somebody rich, it's nothing. According to Don Trump, Americans are making a lot of money. Some do, you know. Hey, JP. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Randy says, I'm on Metro. When I call a landline, the caller ID shows a lady's name that had my phone number 5 years ago. Wow. Change your number, man. I don't know what else to tell you, bro. That is crazy. Pete Bazing. You need to give your kids AT&T brand. Can't afford their fees. That's funny. You know what, Alan? I think that's it's going to be improving. You know, I think that's a lot of that's going to start changing now. They're really buckling down because of the FCC, which finally, you know, something good there. Yeah. And you know the worst thing about the Spectrum service and Xfinity or whatever, you know, the restrictions are pretty tight. Deprioritizes after 20 gigs or something. You got 480p stream. You know, I don't even know if it does hotspot. You know, I don't know. My dude El Jefe Reviews. Good to have you on, brother. Thank you for stopping by, man. Much appreciated. My dude El Jefe doing some of the best quality videos on audio reviews. Man, this dude, El Jefe, big shout out to you, man. You churn out some big time content. Headphones, wireless earbuds, like just by watching your videos, like I know what to look for in like wireless earbuds. And like 2 months ago, I knew literally nothing when it comes to branding, performance, and even expectations on wireless earbuds. So thank you for your work, man. And you're doing a great job. Thank you. And thanks for stopping by, buddy. Seabass is here, says El Jefe in the house. Yeah, big shout out to El Jefe. Stephen Smith says Verizon is the best network in America. Uh, it depends. There's in a couple of ways they are. I would say in LT availability they are. The coverage map is extensive. The performance overall is really good in most cases. Uh, they are heavily network managing now. Their network doesn't have the capacity it once had. You know, as users on the network have increased their demand, running applications that are bandwidth hungry, you know, and they tax the network. And, you know, Verizon simply doesn't have the spectrum on the mid band side and the low band side. Well, the low band's okay, but the mid band, they don't have enough of it. And even in the 5G movement towards the next generation of networks, they're only millimeter wave, which means they can only bolster city centers for, you know, certain blocks and streets. They've been awesome. Don't get me wrong. Verizon has been the go-to network for many people, but in terms of pricing, they're expensive. In terms of value, it's not always there unless you have several lines. Their business practices are questionable at times. You know, there's a lot to be desired from Verizon. They're by far not the best company in America, but network performance, you could make the argument they're the best. So, El Jefe in the house. Very welcome, my friend. Alan says Verizon's great in the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth. Is AT&T good there? I mean, I want to say AT&T's got headquarters out there. I know AT&T Stadium's out there where the Cowboys play and whatnot. Nintendo 504 is in the house. It's happening, buddy. Glad you could be here. What's good? This live stream is good, man. I'm reading that the T-Mobile has to make another phone company before they come together with Sprint. Is this true? You know what? Unlock Custom Droid, it is basically true. So what they're doing is they've merged with Sprint to go from, this current 4-carrier provider, national carriers in the US. So now they're going to be 3 because they're merging with Sprint. What that means is since you only have 3, theoretically, you have less competition. Theoretically. So the DOJ, the Department of Justice, has addressed this issue by getting Dish Network involved. Yes, Dish Network, the cable TV provider, satellite provider. So they've taken Dish and set them up as a 4th carrier to replace Sprint. Now, on the surface, that may seem like it doesn't make sense, but Dish has tons of wireless spectrum. In fact, they have almost as much as Verizon. So you see what Verizon can do with their coverage. Dish has the potential to do something just like Verizon. Dish is going to join the 5G networks in terms of creating a 5G network deployed in the next few years. They're going to be having an MVNO deal on the new T-Mobile network, so they'll be covered while they're building out their own network. So the DOJ built together these concessions to help make Dish a competitor right away. And then Dish can build their own network, and in 7 years, they terminate their 7-year MVNO deal, and they become standalone. So, yeah, that's kind of the situation. And, of course, there's a lot of politics to this, and, I know you're new to the channel, but check out some of my videos, man. I've covered the whole thing from April of 2018 to today. I've been following very, very closely. Wow, you guys got a lot of in the live chat. I'm trying to catch up here. Frager Hoskin in the house. Why do you think Verizon doesn't have a program like T-Mobile? Jump. I'll pay extra a month for Verizon to have this. I don't know. I don't think Verizon has really been that consumer friendly in terms of value. They don't really like to give more than they have to. I think that's hey Gary, I use a VPN. I don't give a damn what they think. JP says I used to have T-Mobile. Now I have AT&T. AT&T is better than T-Mobile. In some ways, I'd say in overall network performance, you're probably right. Frankie says wireless carriers need to enhance its network by dabbling in satellite. Talk about full coverage. That's an interesting angle. It's the final frontier of wireless technology. I mean, it would change the game because the trajectory, the nature of that technology, I mean, just think about the propagation. There's no obstruction, right? The signal intensity doesn't have interference. Weather becomes a problem, right? Storms and everything. But yeah, it's definitely something, that should be explored, I think. Alan's using a VPN too. You know what, Mark? Ergen could maybe sell in less than 7 years. He could sell in 3. He could sell in 5. You never know, right? It's definitely a legitimate thing. Sneed, wasn't what Custom Droid been talking about what most of our podcast been? Yeah. Yeah. JP, as of right now, the newest thing is just Louisiana supporting the merger. There's not really much to report on it. Keep you guys posted whenever news becomes available. You know what, Brian? I've been following that Starlink story. It's interesting. It really is. So I'm kind of disappointed in the technology. I thought this was going to get more traction, widespread usage. It never really did. So Google Fi uses it. Spectrum, they use hotspots around the nation. I really thought that was going to be something that was going to be supporting networks, especially indoor areas, and just hasn't really happened, you know. Talking about Dish hoarding Spectrum, big time. Absolutely. Thoughts on Starlink and Amazon satellite internet? I mean, the speeds could be fast. The LTE availability could be extensive. Could carriers block VPNs? If my carrier blocked my use of VPNs, I would get a new carrier. Honestly, uh, it's not their business if I use a VPN. Me wanting to be anonymous, protect my connectivity to certain websites, applications, Bitcoin, whatever I'm doing, it's not their business. Their business is to take my money for providing a service. I'm telling you, Alan, if they try to block VPN, I'm gone, man. You know what's interesting, JP? The videos I do on AT&T don't get me many views. To give you an example, I've done probably 5 AT&T videos in the last month. I might have 2 or 3 thousand views on those videos combined, which is crazy. AT&T is a huge carrier. I will get 3+ thousand views on one T-Mobile video. So literally, an AT&T video gets 10 to 20% the traffic that my T-Mobile videos get, which is pretty nuts. Angus, if you don't mind me asking, what area is that? Because AT&T is really starting to bolster its network with Band 14. Steven, I gotta disagree with you there. T-Mobile's coverage is much improved. I know it's not the best, but you got to look at carriers from a total package. There's customer care, there's pricing, there's performance, there's perks. There's a lot of things that go into deciding who I'm going to be spending my money with. T-Mobile is more than just a service provider. They also offer value in many different ways other than their network. So there are some people willing to sacrifice a little bit of performance for a lot of the other stuff like customer care and better pricing and other types of features and perks. So while Verizon and AT&T do have more national LTE, T-Mobile does way more for their customers. So if I were a person that lived in an area where T-Mobile's coverage was acceptable to good or even very good, and even if AT&T and Verizon service was great, if T-Mobile's coverage is good enough, you take it because there's more to offer. So the Note 10 5G from T-Mobile will support low band and mid band. It says on an old announcement, but when I try to ask, they don't have any info. I guess we'll never know until we try because I've been trying to find answers and I can't. Last I checked, it was just low band. Thought it was going to be both, but it looks like just low band. Jeremy says, how fast is AT&T rolling out their so-called 4G LTE and aka 5G? So you're talking about 5G. I mean, it's just advanced LTE. It's nothing special. It's good. It's fast LTE. It's not 5G for sure. All right, we got Zen Pyro in the house. No, this is crazy, but I want to know what would happen if AT&T was to merge with T-Mobile after the Sprint T-Mobile merger. I mean, that's complete antitrust. That Big Hank in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Stop by and visit, man. It has been a while, buddy. Hope all is well, Hank. You know what, Alan? Metro and Boost being congested, and that's why the performance, you think about you got a lot of users, right? Uh, you've got people that need the bandwidth for hotspot, people that need the bandwidth for watching videos. Yeah, they get slowed down, man. And they're the first to be deprioritized. Thanks, Seabass. Good looking out. Troy Hicks says Neville Ray and John said 600 megahertz only on the S10 5G. Or you mean the Note 10 5G? Troy, if you could just double confirm that. Hey, Pete, if you're still out there and you want to jump on, let me know. I'll send over the invite. All right, thank you for confirming that, Troy. Note 10. BG Grizzly 30 says the X55 chip can support low and high. Mid-band is the question. Carrier software, blocking potential bands. Yeah, maybe it's better to just wait till next year. And we're not really getting the answers we want from the carriers. And honestly, when we start talking about 5G, low band, mid band, all that stuff, a lot of consumer, support, customer care, they don't have answers for us. They don't know. They're not trained to know. And sometimes you ask questions that is out of their pay grade. Maybe you got to get to tier 2 support or something like that. Jeremy, let's highlight your statement here. Why aren't the carriers offering truly unlimited internet? What are your thoughts on having tiers for speed? Tiers for speed could work. I don't know if I like that for wireless because of the whole deprioritizing thing. If they got rid of deprioritizing completely, then it can work. Like, say, you'll never need more than 10 megabits per second. So there'll be a tier for 10 megabits or less. And there'll be a tier for 20 to 40 megabits per second or something. Like if they could guarantee those speeds, I think some people would be interested in that. I don't know how they would price it. I don't know. Just depends on the pricing, I think. Could it work? Sure. As for the truly unlimited internet, hopefully 5G helps with that. Hopefully it's a situation where, maybe we don't get unlimited hotspot data, but I would like to not be deprioritized and I would like to not buffer video at 720p or 1080p. It's kind of annoying. No problem, Pete. What happened here? Pretty interesting question. How does LTE carry over to Canada this year for one day? And roaming was perfect. Completely different company, though. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be roaming on a different carrier. You'll see the carrier show up in the upper left-hand corner of your phone. Maybe it'll say whatever. Hank, chances are if you're roaming, there are some fees you're going to incur. Verizon charges $2.05 per megabyte. So be careful. If you use a half a gig of data, you'll be paying about $900. Crazy. Steven says, why is Verizon so overpriced? You figure as a company, they will listen to the customers more, but they don't. They hear the customers. Trust All right, so hopefully we're back on here. I don't know what happened there. All right, so yeah, I think the last thing I talked about here, where was I at? Oh, the roaming. Where were we? Okay. Trying to catch up here. Oh, okay, Steven Smith, it was your comment. Yeah, so when the companies charge a certain price, or you know they're overpriced maybe, or they're not providing much value, their only concern is to their shareholders, to those that have stocks in the company. It's to be profitable. And if they don't prioritize customer care, in the long run, it can hurt them. But in the end game for them, it's just about generating profit. And the more profit there is, the happier the providers are, the shareholders. So hopefully I'm streaming good. You guys can let me know if all is well out there. I'm not sure if what happened there with my connection. Oh, Hank, it's starting to storm out there. Oh God. See, I'm kind of in the dungeon right now, so all right, good. Audio and video is good. All right, cool. Frankie says, first the wireless carriers are deprioritizing, now the streaming apps are SMH. Now, Frankie, Netflix, Hulu, I mean, that's not new. Carriers, like, I can get 70 megahertz per 70 megs per second, megabits per second on my Visible service. And then I look at, like what I'm doing on fast.com when it's connected to Netflix, and it's like 3.7, 5.0. You can't do 1080p on that. It's going to be buffering. So it's probably more like 720p. And they've been doing that forever. I want to say a couple years ago they started that. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I just think now it's become an issue that's in the forefront. We want to see that carriers are doing less of this, but it's how they network manage. Awful. I'm not a fan. For those of you that saw today's video on the AT&T TV, pricing seems to be pretty high. Value seems to be pretty low. Can't recommend it, honestly. Tons of fees. AT&T's way is fees, Tons of penalties, early termination fees, penalties. It's not a lot of channels. Hopefully all is well now, Gary. Just go ahead and reload the stream. Hopefully you can do that. Yeah, Steven, I still have my Verizon. Verizon's still, in my opinion, the best solution for me right now. I don't like their business practices. I don't think they're very transparent with their network management. I think they lie quite a bit, honestly. So, but they're the best network in my area. Best balance of speed and performance, LTE availability. And I'm getting a decent price. I'm paying $40 to $45 a line, somewhere in there for like my 6 lines. So I'm satisfied. I mean, there's a couple things I wish that could change, though, for sure. Yeah, Rafi, the pricing on the new AT&T TV is bad. And actually, Rafi, the worst thing about the service is just all the fees. $20 activation fee, $15 early termination fee for each month. You're not going to use them. It's awful. It's crazy, Steven. It is crazy. All right, so my goal was to be on here for 1 hour. According to my count, we're at like 1 hour and 2 minutes. If you would like to make a donation to the SMT YouTube channel, there is a PayPal link. I think Rafi's been shouting it out. If you'd like to make a small or occasional monetary donation to help support production here on the SMT YouTube channel, that would be great. I want to give a big shout out to the patrons. There's several people on there that have been riding with me since day one. Pete, Dave B, others, Mark, Jamaal. I mean, all the guys on there. Madbirds, Ken, all the new guys. It's the Patreon is a great way for you to support production here on the channel. And big shout out to any patron. I'm sorry if I forgot your name to mention you. I appreciate you guys very much. If you want to support the channel monetarily, keep the production going, and it also gets you access to other videos that don't make it to the standard YouTube channel. It also gives you early access to videos that do make it to the YouTube channel. So it kind of gives you like priority in a way. So check that out. Links in the description. The Discord community is growing. God, I swear, if we don't have 100 people, we might have more. Growing community, great people, a lot of fun, very educational. There's a lot of people there with great experience with the networks, sharing speed tests and different deals, links to articles and conversations that are very helpful and educational and informative. So I want to shout out the Discord and the Patreon, and I want to give a big shout out to my moderators. Pete was in the house today. Jamaal, who was here very briefly and provided a super chat. Thank you for that. I want to give also a big shout out to Rafi, always holding it down, big wrench style moderating as well. So big shout out to Jamaal, Pete, and Rafi. And I want to give a big shout out to all the viewers. Thank you to everybody that commented in the live chat. Thank you for watching. To all the people watching this on replay, big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you to all the new subscribers, all the classic subscribers, the first 50, the first 1,000, the second 1,000, third 1,000, 4,000. I'm approaching 5,000 subscribers, guys. So very happy and excited about that. Let's see what we got going on here. Looks like we have some more donations. Oh, man. Jeremy, thank you so much for the donation. Send a donation on PayPal. Thank you again so much. Jeremy will get a big shout out in the next produced video. That's what I do with all the PayPal donations. So thank you guys again. And man, you guys are very generous. Jeremy, anytime, man. I try to answer as many questions as I can. The subscribers, the viewers, the commenters, I appreciate you guys. You're the reason why the channel has grown. I've been making videos for about 2 years, and it's been a labor of love. I enjoy it very much. It's been a great ride thus far, and I'm looking forward to the future. And who knows, maybe things, change with the channel. Maybe I get, additional contributors. Maybe, somebody joins on and then becomes part of the team. Maybe there's some other angles I take with the channel. You never know. I'm always trying to offer something good. And, my goal with the channel is to offer you guys the best, up-to-date information, relevant stories, deals and news from the carriers. And I try to do it. I try to make this a one-stop shop. I try to make it so you never have to go to any other channel to get what you need. And the way I distinguish myself is to offer thoughtful insight and analytics that are logical, right? And it's not that I try to be a know-it-all. I want us to be the most informed group of tech heads on YouTube. So that's my goal. That's what I try to do. So anyways, you guys are all very welcome. I see a lot of thank yous in the live chat. You're all very welcome. Thank you guys for the continued support, and I'm glad to be able to do it. Thank you guys again so much. I think I'll leave it at that. Please like this video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe and bell notify yourself so you never miss an upload. If you are not getting YouTube notifications, something's going on there, no problem. Get yourself on the Discord server, link in the description, and keep tabs on the announcement channel. And that'll let you know whenever there's a live stream or a video that's uploaded. You'll actually probably get it before the YouTube notifications go out. So thank you guys again for watching. I am the SMT, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.